Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to assign textures to this light bulb model and also this croissant model. In the light bulb model, I'll show you how to assign a diffuse map, a metal map, roughness map, alpha map, and emissive map. And in the croissant model, I'll show you how to also assign a diffuse and roughness map, but also something new, assign ambient occlusion map, normal map, and displacement map. Alright, let's get right into the video. So you can go ahead and download. I chose EXR files. We don't need this ARM map and we don't need the normal DX, which this is used for game engines. And check the FBX 3D model so we can have it in Maya, and you can click download. Same thing here. We don't need the ARM texture and we don't need the normal DX texture in Maya, and we need the FBX file, and you can go ahead and download. I've already downloaded them. I'm just gonna unzip them, and as you can see we have the FBX file and all of its textures for the light bulb. Same thing with the croissant. And to import these FBX files, it's super easy. You can just click on your FBX file, click and drag it into Maya, and now we have the 3D objects. So let me add a light real quick. I'm gonna go to Arnold Light and Skydome Light. Go to Attribute Editor and select an HDRI file. We're going to choose this one. And you can turn on the texture, the lighting, the shadows, the ambient occlusion in the viewport. Alright, so let's assign a texture, a standard surface to our 3D object. So right click, assign a new material and a new material, and choose standard surface. Let's call it light bulb material. So the traditional way is to go to each property in here and assign the file, but there's actually an easier and faster method to do this. So it's gonna be in the hybrid shade. So let's click on the hybrid shade right here, and if you look, we already have our light bulb standard surface. Okay, you don't need to worry about the other ones. Just if you hover your mouse, you will see light bulb material standard surface. That's the one you want to click on, so click on it, and then we're gonna click on the show inputs and outputs to see the nodes. Alright, and I'm just gonna resize this. Actually, we don't need this create window, so I'm gonna close it to give us more space. So let's import our textures in here. Alright, so you want to import them up here. So let's go to our textures. So select all of your textures, and you can just click and drag them into the hybrid shade. So let's see. First thing I'm gonna assign is the diffuse. So you can't see your 3D model in here, unfortunately. So we're gonna look at it from here in the viewport. Okay, let's see. So first thing I want to assign is the diffuse. Alright, which in other websites is known as the Albedo or color map. So super easy. Just all you need to do is just drag the out color and plug it into the base color, and boom, it's super easy. All right. And for each of these, actually, make sure the color space is always raw, so we get the most accurate results. Okay, second thing I'm gonna plug in is the metalness. So let's drag the metalness down here. So as you can see, it says metal. So again, super easy. Take the out alpha and plug it into the metalness. So if it's a colored image, you plug in the out color. If it's black and white, you plug in the out alpha, which is the luminance. So for each texture that is black and white, you want to make sure it's raw again and make sure alpha is luminance. Okay, this will let Maya know it is a black and white image. Okay, and as you can see, it created the metalness for us. And if I select the arrow in here and press delete, you'll see it's gone. And I can press Ctrl Z to undo. The next thing I'm going to cover is the roughness. So let's take the roughness and plug it into the specular roughness. Take the out alpha and plug it into the roughness. Super easy. Again, make sure, since it's a black and white image, make sure alpha is luminance for the roughness map. Next thing I'm going to cover is the alpha, which is basically the opacity. Okay. So where do we plug in the alpha? We plug it into the opacity right here. So just take the out color and plug it into the opacity. And as you can see, now our 3D model is transparent. Again, make sure alpha is luminance in here since it's a black and white texture. Alright, next thing I'm going to cover is the emissive map. Okay. So if I select my light bulb surface in here, and then let me scale this up like this, so we can see it. And this is why if you have a 2-monitor setup, it's always good. Alright, so select the light bulb material and you get the same settings as normally you do. In emission, if you increase the weight, you see it will increase the emission weight, but we only want to emit from here. So let's increase the emission to 1. And then what we're gonna do is take the emission color and plug it into the emission color. And as you can see now, if I go back to my emission and maybe do something like 5, only this part changes, lights up. You can turn it on and off. Let me rearrange this so it's not, so the arrows are not overlapping. Okay, and that's it for the light bulb. Super easy. And let's look at it in the render view. I'm going to click on here to frame my camera. Click render. Alright, now we can see our light bulb. pretty cool. I'm gonna select on my sky dome light, go down to visibility and reduce the camera visibility so we don't have to see it in the render view. Alright, let's move to the croissant model. Alright, I'm gonna close out the render view. And let's create a new camera. And then let's drag and drop our croissant FBX file. It's this one right here. Drag and drop. Alright, let's move it somewhere else. Let's move it here. Alright, I know it looks weird right now, but just right click, assign a new material, and let's choose standard surface. And let's rename it to croissant material. And let's go to the hyper shade. I'm gonna position my croissant here. Click on the hyper shade. Let's close this one. Okay, I'm gonna put them side to side so we can see them. Alright, let's click on our croissant material standard surface, and then let's click on this button right here with the two triangles that will show the inputs and the outputs. Then again, let's go to our textures and drag and drop them into the hyper shade. So this croissant has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 textures. I'm gonna click and drag them here. Alright, so first we have the diffuse. Let's position it here. Let's plug in the diffuse in the base color like we did earlier, and make sure again it's raw. And now we get our diffuse. Now we're going to talk about ambient occlusion, which we haven't covered earlier on. It's called AO, which stands for ambient occlusion. So there's actually no place to plug in the ambient occlusion here. So what we're going to do is multiply the diffuse with the ambient occlusion together and plug them into the base color. So to do that, I'm going to press tab and search for multiply divide node. So it's actually the second one, multiply divide node. Press enter. And now all we need to do is just plug the out color into input 1 and the out color into input 2. It doesn't matter which order they're in since it's a multiply node. And then finally drag the output and replace it with the base color. And now we get our nice shadows. If I click on this arrow and press delete, you can see the... Actually, if I go here and delete this arrow connection, you can see the difference. So after and before, after and before. And since the ambient occlusion is a black and white image, make sure to set alpha as luminance is turned on. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Roughness. Let's click and drag roughness and just plug it into the specular roughness. And again, since it's a black and white image, make sure alpha is luminance. Okay, next we have the normal map. So I'm gonna click and drag the normal map and plug it into the normal camera. But before we do that, we need to put something in between them. Okay. So I'm gonna press tab and search for bump to the node. It's this one right here. Press enter. And then plug the out alpha into the bumped value. And then take the out normal and plug it into the normal camera. Alright, so since our normal map is the purple color you saw earlier, we're gonna click on our bump 2D node and change it to use as tangent space normal. You choose this option if your normal map is that purple RGB color. Click on it and you can see it fixed it for us. And again, click on your normal map and make sure alpha is luminous turned on. And we can look at the before and after. So I'm gonna click on my connection arrow right here, press delete. So this is before and after, before and after. Alright, the last thing we need to plug in is the displacement map. So I'm gonna drag it here. So the displacement map, you actually don't plug into here, you plug into this purple box right here, displacement shader. So I'm gonna drag it down, and before you plug these two together, there's a node you need to put between them, like we did with the normal map. So I'm gonna press tab and search for displacement shader. This one right here, press enter, and we get these two boxes. We don't need the second one, so I'm gonna highlight it and delete it. We only need this one right here. So let's select our displacement map, make sure it's raw and alpha is luminous. And then plug the out alpha into displacement. And then plug displacement into the displacement shader. Super easy. Alright, and if we select the displacement shader, you can see the scale of our displacement is set to 1. Alright, and of course the displacement doesn't show up in the viewport, it only shows up in the render view. Alright, so first let's click render and let's see if it works. Arnold render. First I'm going to frame my camera. Okay, I'm gonna frame it like this. And then I'm gonna click Arnold and render. So as expected, the render view looks crazy right now. So what we're gonna do is close the render view, select your 3D object, go to the shape tab, so crescent, shape, and the attribute editors, scroll down to Arnold, click on Arnold, scroll down, and till you find subdivision, click on subdivision, and let's change the subdivision type to cat clerk. And let's do 5. This just increased the subdivisions in the render view. And let's look at our render view now. Okay, it still looks crazy. So we're gonna adjust the scale in the hyper shade. So let's go to the hyper shade. Let's navigate to our displacement shader right here. And right now the scale is 1. So I'm gonna reduce it to 0.1. Okay, still too much. I'm gonna reduce it to 0.01. Okay, that looks way better. It still looks a bit crazy. So I'm gonna reduce it to 0.005, and this is the results we get. Maybe I'll even lower it down more. Maybe I'll do 0.03. Okay, I think that should work. And you can just ignore the warnings in here. I'm going to take a screenshot of the 3D object with our displacement, and I want to look at the before and after, so I'm going to click this arrow right here and delete it. And let's look at the before and after. So let it finish render. Okay, so this is without the displacement, and this is with the displacement. Without and with, before and after. And you can see it like made it more buffy and increased the size a little bit. Okay, so you can play around with the scale till you find the right scale that works for you. And I think that's it for now. Thank you all for watching, and let me know if you have any questions down below, and please suggest any future tutorials, topics to go over for my future tutorials. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!